If the Americans, the biggest danger to the United States, not China.
And what does that potentially mean that is worth paying attention to? Why does that matter?
It means that they can set the rules. They can set the standards. They can sell the products that you need them, that if they determine that they're going to shut you off, you're dead, right? I mean, think about what happened. The Europeans were so dependent on Russia for gas and for oil. And the Russians invade Ukraine, they want to shut it down, and it destroys the European economy. The Americans are doing just fine. The Americans are building and get so many of their semiconductors from TSMC in Taiwan. I'm sure you've talked about that before in your show. Well, what happens if China decides that they want to cut that off? If they have that capacity, the Americans are really screwed. So you don't want to be in a position where one country, an adversarial country that you don't trust, have a good relationship with, suddenly produces all this stuff that you desperately need, or your economy will fall apart. And yet that is the trajectory we're presently on. See, if China had elections coming up in November, I'd be worried, right? Because, you can just imagine a situation where the Chinese, being more short-term, would say, well, look, the Americans are distracted with Iran and the Europeans are distracted with Ukraine. Now is our time for Taiwan because we really want to get like all that support. So let's gin it up. Chinese aren't doing short-term at all. They're doing long-term. The Chinese are thinking for 10 years down the road, 20 years down the road, and they're investing that way. They're taking very little risk. They're making no regret moves to set themselves up long-term, while the Americans are doing all this short-term stuff, all this electoral cycle stuff. That's the worry. If the Americans, the biggest danger to the United States, not China, it's America. It's America getting in its own way and not investing in having the best products, the most competitiveness, the most attractive place to study, the most attractive place to live, the most attractive place to work,